The gym, was there any conversation around that at all?
Nah, even if it was, I don't even speak on, what other people got going on, I, I would love to.
Earlier this week, Shakur Stevenson invited Eddie Hearn, Terence Crawford, and Floyd Mayweather to watch his sparring session. However, things took an unexpected turn when a heated argument broke out between Mayweather and Crawford after the session. Both were sitting ringside, closely observing Stevenson as he trained hard for his upcoming fight on February 22nd against Floyd Schofield. In an interview with Fight Hype, Shakur Stevenson shared his thoughts on the gathering of boxing legends in the gym. "Man, I don't even know how they all ended up there," he said. "I feel like I deserve an extra check for that. I'm always putting things together, but I don't always get the credit I should. Still, I pulled off a great setup and had everyone come through. I appreciate them for showing up and supporting me. I just try to take in all the knowledge and advice they share." Mayweather had once attempted to sign Stevenson, but ultimately lost him to Eddie Hearn in Matchroom Boxing.
Hold me back.
While Eddie Hearn and Floyd Mayweather managed to set their rivalry aside to share some laughs and conversations, things took a different turn between Mayweather and Terence Crawford. Their friendship, which had already soured this year, faced more tension. This year is shaping up to be huge for Shakur Stevenson, but he knows he must deliver an impressive performance next month. As for Crawford and Mayweather, their initial friendly vibe at the gym didn't last long. The mood shifted when Crawford confidently stated he had no doubt he could beat Mayweather, sparking a brief argument between the two.
Like in the gym that day?
Nah, it just was talking about like my boxing. It wasn't nothing about no Kid Austin, the fight that I got coming up. It was more so just watching my.
What initially brought everyone together was Shakur Stevenson's intense training methods. Many people don't realize just how incredibly hard Stevenson works. Eddie Hearn offered a glimpse into his relentless mindset, noting that skipping rest breaks and sacrificing sleep are sometimes just part of the life of a top-level world champion boxer, a reality many in the sport can attest to.
Yeah, what was, so I mean, look, it ain't the first time you've been around Floyd. It ain't the first time you've been around any of those guys. But, that day, especially with you having this fight, and, a lot of people saying that maybe Kid Austin isn't ready for you. What kind of talk? What was the conversation like in the gym that day?
Nah, it just was talking about like my boxing. It wasn't nothing about no Kid Austin.
Knowing when to fight, train, and rest is crucial for any boxer, and Eddie Hearn shared his thoughts with IFL on what he witnessed from Shakur Stevenson in the gym this week. "What I love about being in environments like that is seeing the passion for the sport," Hearn said. He revealed that Stevenson pushed through 14 rounds of 4 minutes each, with only 30-second breaks in between. Both Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather watched the entire session before heading to another ring to observe Ray Ford's sparring session. Floyd loves boxing, and so does Terence. He's passionate about the sport, enjoys watching young fighters, offering advice, and supporting talent from his community. "It was really cool to see," Hearn said. He also highlighted the grueling nature of Stevenson's training, saying, 14 rounds with 30-second breaks and almost no rest? That's no joke. Whoever was on the receiving end of those sparring sessions had a tough time. Last year, Stevenson dealt with a severely injured hand that landed him in the hospital, but he's ready for a big comeback. Next month, on February 22nd, he'll step into the ring on one of the most stacked cards in boxing history.
It was pound for pound. You or Floyd, who would have done that? Who would have won that?
Me.
Oh, shit, okay, I'm just asking.
Terence Crawford confidently stated he would have defeated Floyd Mayweather if they had faced off during Mayweather's active career. The switch-hitting star from Omaha, Nebraska, is a 4-division world champion with an impressive 31 stoppages to his name. His most recent achievement was capturing the WBA World Super Welterweight title with a decision victory over Israel Madrio, marking the 4th division in which he's claimed a championship. Crawford is also one of only 3 fighters in the 4-belt era to become undisputed in 2 weight classes. As Crawford cements his legacy as one of the best of his generation, fans continue to debate how he measures up against the all-time greats. One of the most intriguing fantasy matchups remains a showdown with the last dominant American, Floyd Mayweather.
Terence didn't mention the fight, didn't say anything. You didn't talk to him about it. Floyd, not a peep.
Not a word.
Okay.
Sorry.
Hey, no, it's all good.
Floyd Money Mayweather retired undefeated in 2017, leaving behind a legacy as one of the most lucrative stars in boxing history. The defensive genius defeated legends like Canelo Alvarez, Manny Pacquiao, Shane Mosley, and Oscar de la Hoya. But would Terence Crawford have joined that list if their paths had crossed? When asked on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast how he would fare against Mayweather, Crawford didn't hesitate, confidently backing himself. Me versus anybody. Crawford's trainer, Brian Bomac McIntyre, shares the same belief, though he acknowledges his bias. For one, Crawford is like my son, so I'll always go with him. But Terence has that dog in him, McIntyre said. He didn't get to where he is now overnight. It's taken years and years of hard work.
That would have been a hard fucking fight, though.
Man, me versus anybody. I'm gonna always say me.
Okay.
Come on now.
If you put Bud in his prime against Mayweather in his prime, of course, Mayweather would be the smarter fighter, McIntyre admitted. But I believe Bud would have more dog in him. Whether or not Crawford could break through Mayweather's legendary defense will always be up for debate. A more realistic matchup for Crawford right now, however, is the upcoming showdown between Floyd Mayweather and Canelo Alvarez this September. Shakur Stevenson, the WBC lightweight champion, believes Crawford would defeat Canelo Alvarez and make it look easy. Stevenson has been vocal for years, confidently stating that Crawford has what it takes to overcome Canelo in the ring.
And obviously your good friend, mentor, Terence Crawford. A lot of people a few years ago would have said that's crazy, but I think everybody, when they see the talent of Terence Crawford...
Terence Crawford, the WBA world champion in the 154 pounds light middleweight division, has promised to put on 14 pounds to compete in his highly anticipated matchup with Canelo Alvarez, which could likely be the highest payday of his career. When asked if he believes Crawford will win, Shakur Stevenson was confident in his response. "I've been saying this for years now," Stevenson told TalkSport Boxing. "I'm probably the first one who said it, even before Terence did. I've always thought Crawford's style is a bad matchup for Canelo. I think he beats Canelo." While Stevenson suggests Crawford might stand toe-to-toe and trade blows with Canelo in September, this scenario seems unlikely given Crawford's typical strategy against powerful punchers, where he tends to focus on defense and counterpunching rather than engaging in a slugfest.
He's a special fighter, pound for pound. I think many will say #1 in the world, alongside the likes of people like yourself and that great list that we've got at the minute. Is he the man?
Crawford typically relies on his movement, using his jab and quick footwork to land shots before quickly repositioning himself. He doesn't stay stationary or engage in relentless attacks. His aggressive performance against Errol Spence was more of an exception, mainly because Spence wasn't at his best following his car accident. It's been 13 months since then, and Crawford's next move could be risky. Chris Mannix discussed the challenge Crawford might face if he steps into the super middleweight range, noting, "You've got to be very careful when moving up above 160 pounds. On his YouTube channel, Mannix questioned whether Crawford would risk taking a tune-up fight before facing Canelo Alvarez in September, and it seems unlikely Crawford would take such a risk before the big matchup.
Canelo.
Yes, honestly, if anybody could jump up in weight classes and do it, it's Terence Crawford. I don't know nobody.
If Crawford does compete in the super middleweight division, it would likely be at a catch weight around 163 or 164 pounds, facing a middleweight moving up. Possible opponents could include Aaron McKenna, Liam Smith, Austin Williams, or Kyrone Davis, fighters who pose minimal threat to Crawford and are ranked lower in the middleweight division. Another ongoing debate in the boxing world is the greatest of all-time argument. Floyd Mayweather and Roy Jones Jr. are two boxing legends who have left a lasting impact on the sport. Both are widely regarded as the best pound-for-pound fighters of their respective eras, fueling endless debates about who truly deserves the title of greatest of all time.
The Floyd 50-0, or is it like...
You gotta respect anything a person does if they're undefeated that long. So I respect it to a degree, yeah. Is it a 50-0 that I think, oh, he the greatest fighter all the time? Nah.
With his flawless 50-0 record, Floyd Mayweather is widely considered by many to be the greatest pound-for-pound boxer in history. His impenetrable defense and ability to control the pace of a fight made him a one-of-a-kind spectacle. Additionally, his career was marked by extraordinary commercial success, with 4 of the 5 highest-grossing pay-per-view events in boxing history. However, Roy Jones Jr., an undisputed champion across 4 weight classes, has a different view. When asked in an interview with Real Life Productions if he considered Mayweather the GOAT, Jones Jr. gave a simple but emphatic response. No. Jones, known for his slick yet punishing style, was the first man in over a century to win a middleweight world title and then claim a heavyweight title. He dominated 4 divisions during his legendary career, defeating top fighters like James Toney, Bernard Hopkins, and Antonio Tarver, all while showcasing an endlessly watchable style.
Shabby was 80-0 at one point. 80. He could have retired at 80-0. You go ever top that? No. He just didn't stop, right? You got to 50 and you stopped because of Rocky Marciano.
Right.
So Rocky died.
Mayweather famously ended his career with a perfect 50-0 record, holding titles in 5 different divisions and showcasing a defense that's often considered the best in boxing history. He also became one of the most lucrative stars the sport has ever seen, securing 4 of the top 5 highest-grossing pay-per-view events. When asked by Real Life Productions if Mayweather's undefeated record made him the greatest of all time, Roy Jones Jr. disagreed. No, he said, elaborating that there were more impressive campaigns in boxing history. You have to respect what someone does to stay undefeated for that long. I respect it to a degree, but is it 50-0 that makes him the greatest fighter of all time? Nah. Jones pointed to Julio Cesar Chavez, who went 87-0 at one point, saying, 80-0? Are you ever going to top that? No. He also suggested that Mayweather stopped at 50-0 partly because of Rocky Marciano's record, adding, if Marciano hadn't died, Floyd probably would have kept going too.
If he wouldn't die, he probably would have kept going too. So and then, at the end, you fight a guy that's 0-0 for number 50. How can I respect it? Yeah. You feel me? Right. So, I mean, I love Floyd, don't get it wrong, I'm not hating on Floyd, but come on, bro, you fight a guy that's 0-0, Conor McGregor was 0-0, and they let you do that?
Jones particularly took issue with Mayweather's farewell fight, a 10th round stoppage of UFC star Conor McGregor in McGregor's boxing debut. The ongoing debate over who deserves the title of the greatest of all time will likely continue, fueled by the unique accomplishments and philosophies of both Mayweather and Jones. What added more intrigue to this scenario was the gathering of major boxing figures. After Mayweather and Terence Crawford met, Eddie Hearn was also present at the training camp to support Shakur Stevenson, turning it into an informal meeting of some of boxing's biggest names. While it's often said that what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, in today's world, with so many witnesses, especially if celebrities are involved, it's nearly impossible to keep things under wraps. And when the name Floyd Mayweather is added to the equation, it becomes even harder to hide. This particular gathering in a gym in Sin City may have been filled with lighthearted comments, but rumors suggest there were some sparks flying, and despite the playful atmosphere, tensions were high as Mayweather and Hearn exchanged words.
I'm gonna tell you why I like Eddie. So one day somebody asked you, because you know I don't have social media on my phone. Yeah. So they showed me Eddie. Eddie was like, boy, Mayweather ain't got.
It should be noted that Eddie Hearn has previously claimed in various interviews that Floyd Mayweather didn't have the money he often said he had, suggesting that Mayweather's search for exhibition fights was driven by financial need. Despite this, Mayweather earned over $1.2 billion throughout his legendary boxing career, with significant paydays coming from high-profile bouts against Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor. Reports indicate that Mayweather's current net worth stands around $400 million, which has enabled him to live a lavish lifestyle even after retiring from professional boxing in 2017. Although he stepped away from competitive boxing, Mayweather has continued to earn money through a series of highly profitable exhibition matches against lesser opponents, including YouTubers Logan Paul and Deji.
He doing exhibitions. No, Eddie don't believe that now.
Yeah. But Eddie will say some shit like that now.
Eddie will say some shit, but one thing.
The boxing legend has repeatedly claimed that he earns 8-figure paydays from each of his exhibition matches, even going so far as to call them legalized bank robberies. When asked why he continues to accept these showman events, Mayweather explained that it was all part of his effort to build generational wealth. Matchroom boxing promoter Eddie Hearn, however, has suggested in multiple interviews that Mayweather's net worth might not be as high as many believe, partly due to his extravagant spending habits. Hearn said, "I don't think he's got the money he says. I don't think he needs it, but when you live that lifestyle and spend what he's spending..."
What about that? But me and Eddie got it clear. Didn't we, Eddie? Yeah. One thing, me and my buddy got it clear.
We said as long as it's 10 or 20, no problem.
The tension reached its peak when Mayweather and Hearn ran into each other in Las Vegas and confronted one another about the comments. The undefeated former boxer explained that Hearn sometimes makes those types of remarks, and they had already cleared the air. The two began joking, playing off the idea that the rumors were true, and started throwing playful barbs at each other, all while their entourages watched and celebrated the exchange. The meeting took place in a boxing gym, where both were in town for the fight between Diego Pacheco and Steve Nelson. As they watched some sparring, Mayweather jokingly began a conversation, saying, "So one day somebody said, you know, I don't have social media on my phone, so they showed me Eddie."
Can't be less than 10. Because then we're struggling for money.
I had to show Eddie some of my...
Eddie was joking around, saying, "Floyd Mayweather Jr. ain't got no money. That's why he's doing exhibitions." Mayweather laughed, acknowledging that Hearn sometimes makes those kinds of remarks, but assured him, "Me and Eddie got it clear." With a smug grin on his face, Mayweather shared a laugh with Hearn, and the two shook hands. Hearn responded with, "Yeah, as long as it's 10 or 20, there's no problem. Anything less, it can't be less than 10. Mayweather burst into laughter at the comment, joined by one of his team members. It was clear from their interaction that there were no hard feelings between them.
Imagine how much money Floyd Mayweather would have made if I was his promoter back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
Mayweather Jr. mentioned that he had even shown Hearn some of his bank accounts to clear up any doubts. He then clarified, "Listen, I had to show Eddie some of my accounts." Hearn responded, "Imagine how much Floyd Mayweather would have made if I was his promoter. You know what I'm saying?" Clearly, Mayweather is not lacking in cash, especially given his extravagant spending in recent months. The boxing legend has heavily invested in real estate, including his largest purchase to date, a $42 million acquisition of several apartment blocks.
Hold me back.
They say many a true word is spoken in jest, but in the case of Mayweather, it doesn't quite apply. The undefeated boxing legend remains one of the richest former athletes in the world. It's unclear if he has any more exhibitions lined up, but he continues to be linked to high-paying return bouts. Although Hearn never had the chance to promote Mayweather, he likely wishes he had, given the star power of the American. Mayweather's pay-per-view events against Pacquiao in 2015 and McGregor in 2017 remain the two highest-earning fights in modern boxing history.
Come out and box and have some fun. I do it because I want to do it, not 'cause...
Despite making an astounding amount of money during his over 20-year professional boxing career, there have been stories suggesting that Mayweather hasn't always been wise with his finances. Even in the lead-up to his massive fight against Conor McGregor in 2017, the Irishman hinted that the undefeated former world champion might have had tax issues. Although Mayweather is widely regarded as the richest fighter in boxing history, questions have been raised about his wealth following the end of his boxing career. Eddie Hearn has even commented on the topic, questioning the extent of Mayweather's financial situation.
Yeah, I think that Mayweather was unquestionably one of the best ever. But I don't know.
In a recent interview with GRM, Hearn questioned Mayweather's wealth, suggesting that the 50-0 fighter might not have as much money as he claims. "I don't think he's got the money he says," Hearn stated. "I don't think he needs the money, but when you've got that lifestyle and you're spending what he's spending..." In response, Floyd Mayweather posted a new video on his Instagram, where he boasted more than usual, clearly aiming to fire back at Hearn and prove that the promoter's claims were false.
He's not a true fighter because he fought everybody he could of his era, but he was a different kind of skill set. You know, he was very much hit and don't get hit, which is the art of boxing.
In the video, Mayweather showed off a check and deliberately announced the amount, saying, "You know what we do? The one and only Floyd Money Mayweather, CEO of Zeus." I appreciate you. You guys always do great business. He then added, that's 6 O's. Not bad, it's a deal. I appreciate it. The video was clearly aimed at proving Hearn's comments wrong while showcasing his wealth.
See you again, man.
Come on, let me what's going on?
The money man is back, you know?
You know what we do. The one and only Floyd Money Mayweather, CEO of Zeus, Lemmy. I want to say I appreciate you. You guys always do great business.
Thank
and
you.
of course,
You know, we
if I'm the money man, they gotta have something fun.
Mayweather then gave another interview where he trolled Eddie Hearn, saying, when I come and do an exhibition, it's because I love the sport and I feel like it. Known worldwide as the biggest moneymaker in boxing history, Mayweather, 47, enjoyed a flawless professional career, retiring with an unmatched 50-0 record. Over his 50-fight career, he became the biggest draw in boxing, generating billions in revenue.
I think sometimes when these guys carry on and they do the exhibitions and all that kind of stuff, it just sort of diminishes the legacy a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
And that's what I feel like's happened with Mayweather.
Hearn's comments do carry some weight, as throughout his career, Mayweather has often been seen flaunting his wealth and showing off his cash in various businesses. However, he's also faced criticism for not always being smart with his money. Even after retiring from professional boxing with a massive payday from his historic fight against former UFC champion Conor McGregor, Mayweather continues to participate in exhibition bouts. That's all for now. For the latest updates on boxing news, events, and moments, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and turn on notifications to get alerted when we release more quality content like this. Until next time, peace out.